Okay, 39. The mind training called Will of Sharp Weapon. I'm doing recording. Okay. So composed by Dhammarakshita, the more mind training with the bodhicitta or compassion. So today I think we are going to a little bit analyze on self-centeredness, selfish, the fault of having selfish and self-centeredness. But before we did this here, say, when all my meditative practice fell in their aims, it is the weapon of evil karma turning on me for following pernicious, right? The views to enter my heart. Okay. So then the practice said, from now, whatever I do will be slowly for others' sake. Solely for others' sake. Okay, here, meditative practice fell in their my meditative practice means all good morning, any practice. So there might have a many reason to fail in aim, right? So it's talking about based on who are putting effort to do practice and then still not reach to M, or that it's saying fell in their M means is you are not changing at all, or you are not really feeling at all. That's because saying once you do meditation, or when you do practice, any practice, so there are no feeling, no matter how long and how much you put effort, and or never change yourself, even do long time practice. So those have many reasons, but one of the reason here is saying that the evil karma turning on you or me, which is like saying allowing pernicious view. It's like another way to say pernicious view, sometimes a bad view, sometimes a wrong view. So the pernicious view regarding here self-centeredness, right? Self-centeredness is the pernicious view, and then many wrong view and I think like a useless view. That's we can say it. So it's we are keep having those, or we are keep like keep practicing with those view. That's the karma, which just let you again and again fail to get to M, or fail to change yourself, no matter how much you do practice, right? So I think right now, today, we also to have the fail to achieve our aim, or achieved our goal, or fail to change. That might be the lack of mindfulness, or also the reason might be that we are not clearly understand that what we're doing practice, right? Any practice, before you apply for practice or meditations, we must know very, very clear with the details and deep level. So then you can do practice better. So regarding compassion, so we are just satisfying with just gently knowing the definition of compassion, and then a little bit knowing about that, how meditate on compassion. So just do satisfy with it and keep that little bit information, and then repeating those again and again, try to generate compassion. That will be not really brings you compassion, because we not understand clear details, right? Say compassion mind is wishing or having aspiration, those the people, whoever, sentient beings, to try to free from suffering. And how much you know level of suffering, that's the question. So our level of suffering, understanding of level of suffering is just painful and injured, and then very gross level of suffering, those we see. And then we also wish that much, say, okay, whoever the beings, be free from their illness, sickness, be free from injury, be free from painful, right? That's all we wishes. And then that keeps our compassion very limited, because our wish is limited with the suffering, because we do not deep level understand suffering. Yeah, just giving example, like incomplete details, or not knowing completely any object that you're doing practice will be fail and not have aim. You will not reach the aim, right? So yeah, because I see many people complain, say, yeah, I did long time and many time meditate compassion in order to generate compassion, but it's never happening. Then we'll discussion, ask question, that compassion is really, really incomplete, right? So small amount of details, as you know, even you not know the what is the like observation object with generating compassion, what should they have aspect, and in order having those aspect to free from suffering, and how you wish, what kind of you wishing free from suffering, what kind of you wishing, what suffering that you try to let them free. So the not knowing those details, then of course we cannot generate compassion. That's the one point. So in like beside the karma, here's the karma, which is having those pernicious views, right? And then also, yeah, this is one of the important parts. We are not talking you're having lack of practice, because this sentence are talking based on practice, based on you put enthusiasm, like a effort or working hard for practice. So therefore, it shouldn't be lack of practice. This is the basis. And then based on that, still not achieve the goal, then what problem it's saying, right? Therefore, I added here, lack of mindfulness and lack of understanding the clear subject that which you are meditating. Or I mean like object, yeah, that's you're meditating. So what else? Also, this lifetime or many lifetime just keep creating negative action or negative karma, or your virtues are decreasing, you are married and the spirituality energy is very weak. So those are also the cause that let you fail their aims or not achieve those. So yeah, in generally, these are the cause and condition to fail the practice. And then especially here, I see one obstacle is boring with the repeating, right? The boring with the repeating is the very, very bad obstacle here, especially in the West. I didn't see in our monastery that because we train when we was young, right? So repeating that necessary. But here, like a 10-time repeat, it's okay. Still have some kind of interesting. And then 1 month, 1 year, and then your all interesting is gone. No more want to repeat it, right? So without repeat it, you will not train anything like with any object, such as a compassion and so on, so on. So therefore, usually I said, your goal is not repeating it. Your goal is to change it. Your goal is to get it, to accomplish it, whatever do compassion or love and kindness or patient practice, whatever you do practice, the goal is to change yourself, or goal that you achieve or you attain those accomplishments, right? So if you track it as this is my goal, then you will not really focus to how much repeat it. You might be thinking more, oh yeah, it's important to repeat again because I've not reached that goal, right? So reaching that goal, continuous work, right? So, and then continuous working, while you continuous work hard, if you change the object here and there, then you will never reach the goal. So you have to target one goal and then constantly, repeatedly do it again and again. So that's the things that change you, right? Good morning, Janet. So otherwise, how makes us boring to repeat? Because we're looking time, how many times I did practice, and we're looking how many times repeated, and then how long we did it. That's the only we're targeting, right? So still you not get your M, then you have to go more, like a 10 years, nothing, right? Because you not get anything, or you waste all this 10 years, right? So because all the point with, sometimes we see the cartoon, they're digging for diamond, find the diamond, right? And they dig far and far, and they really get close to the diamond, and then they're tired and give up or going back, So this is how our practice actually happening, right? So long time, and then the long time you're doing, you never tested, I'm doing properly or inappropriate, right? That's one thing. Or I'm doing meditation or practice knowing completely or incompletely. You never examine it that way, and you're just doing it. That's the one wrong. And because therefore, before we do apply practice or meditation, we really should examine that do I know complete, or those objects that just understanding little or more. That's you investigate. And then that's the first thing we have to understand. Yes, now object is complete, I don't know. Now time for practice. That's how we need to go, right? Time for apply meditations. So, and then secondly, while you're meditating, again, boring with the repeating, and then tired with a long time. So that's also obstacle. Again, I'm repeating here. So that's boring with the repeating, tired with a long time. It's special, the obstacle in the West. So this is not attain anything, right? And then I don't know how much with thinking, as I said it, I'm a lot of time I repeat it, right? The mental exercise and physical exercise is almost same. If you have to repeat it, the physical exercise, then why not the mental exercise repeating, right? So like entire life, you might be continuous physical exercise. Because having good shape is not only the goal to do physical exercise, right? The more good health. Even the good shape of body, it will be returned if you not do continually exercise, right? So let's say the running. People do every day 1 hour, 30 minutes, right? Isn't there repeating? Right? So we are not repeating with those. We are not repeating for eating. We are not boring, not having boring with the repeating sleeping, right? Not having boring with the repeating eating and drinking, not having boring with the repeating just chatting. right? So never bore. Even we repeat it. So, but we have a boring with the repeating meditation. One object, like even just breath. Oh, how long time I have to go with the breath, right? So I did like 10 years, nothing to get anything. So yeah, those are obstacle here to, here's regarding saying fell in their aim, fell in your aim, fell in my aim to achieve and change. So, okay, it's important. It's important. Maybe it's good to remind it and also remember yourself. So, and here saying the meditative practice, special Mahayana Bodhicitta practice, because in the last line, the conclusion practice is saying, from now on, whatever I do will be solely for others' sake. Right? There's the Mahayana practice, and then how the Mahayana practice also the related with the pernicious view is that's what I mentioned earlier is the special here saying self-centeredness is the pernicious view, as well as you have a self-centeredness, very difficult or almost impossible to solely for others' sake or being benefit to others, right? So almost not happening it. So or you can say that pernicious view, any wrong view, any useless view, you can count it here. And then that habit to having those view. So the wrong view or bad view, once you have the habits again and again, it will bring you brings you distractions, right? Well, how much it brings you distractions, that will difficult to reach your to either concentration or compassion or love and kindness, bodhicitta, whatsoever. So it's very difficult to or almost not happening with you because it's just continues having distraction, lack of mindfulness. So because of that pernicious view of what called or wrong view or bad view, right? I spoke a little bit the wrong view, bad view once we talk about that tenet school, right? Maybe it's okay to repeat here. We do have our many wrong view in our daily life. We do have it, right? So can you give some example what you have wrong view or general view? What is view in general? So in day by day, we're having many new views day by day. Some could be positive, some could be negative, some could be wrong, some could be right? So, but generally you should know that every day we're having many new view. What should be? Do you understand the view? Sorry.
A new view? What do you mean?
New.
Every day we have a new view.
We having it. Yeah.
Like a new perspective on something.
That's regarding with the perspective. Perspective changed by view, actually. The perspective is second. So how much your perspective changing? Those are changed by view, right? So what should be the view? Do you remember or you know that what we have view in daily life, day by day?
Like our conventional view of things.
Whatever view.
Like war solves whatever problem. So we always go to war with something and we think that's going to solve something. So
that could be one view, right? Yeah, similar like this. Yeah.
I was going to say, and also that idea of even though we hear it, leisure and opportunity, and how life is so fragile, we always think we'll have more time in the future. No matter how old we get, we still think there's more time. For me, that's a wrong view.
Yeah, any view, wrong or right view, right? So for simple, say you think Buddha is very holy beings. That's one view, right?
Wrong view.
One view. This, you understand the view, right? You again go back to more simple. Say, oh, that person is very bad. It's your view. That person is very good. It's view, right? So it's that's how you're viewing it. That person is very good or very bad with the reason. And until they're stuck in your mind, that view, and then always change the perspective. So until you describe that person is very bad, whenever you see this person who you describe very bad, that your perspective is always negative. Your experience is always negative. Right? This is the one view means that kind of things, right? And then while we're having the view, it could be wrong, could be right, say, oh, this person is very bad. Then it's wrong or right, it's your like a reason. So that person is very bad because it's lied, right? Then when you find it out, maybe not lie. That's your wrong view. If you lied, then your right view, right? So find it more like this in your day by day, in order to knowing the deep level of view or general view, all we having it, right? One view, we all having there, we have a common view and in like a not common view, right? So there are many individual view. Some person you see is bad, I see is good. That individual view, right? And we both are seeing this is the one of human being, it's common view. So there are many common view, individual view. So therefore I say day by day, we having many view, either new or repeating those. Those are, in having those view, I can say most of you are goes wrong, right? So anyhow, I just bring those kind of example to knowing the view means here, right? So now here talking about the view or pernicious view is, okay, before we go that, now let me go with the philosophy things, like I say, perceiving self as a permanent is wrong view, right? Because it's impermanent. And also whatever, yeah, this is one example. And then also saying self-centeredness is also wrong view here. Regarding here, otherwise say pernicious view. It's not really wrong view, self-centeredness. It's not really say wrong view, right? It's pernicious view, or it's like in Tibetan say member. What is the opposite of great?
What is the opposite of great?
A supreme.
Inferior.
Inferior, yeah, that's maybe inferior view. So self-centeredness is inferior view to connect, compare with the mind which is seeking others, or mind which is always cherished to other, right? This is supreme, superior. And then another one, insuperior, is too much thinking yourself, self-centeredness. So here, this is the one view is called here precious view, which is insuperior view. Self-centeredness is not really say a wrong view, because this could be brings you good result. Yeah, I mean, just cherishing yourself is nothing wrong, right? But it's strong having that, were you having strong, like a cherish to yourself because you think the self is solid and independent. That's the wrong view. that wrong view brings you that kind of aspiration to thinking myself is so important because it's like an independent or solid. So anyhow, self-centeredness, like say, who wants to achieve nirvana, I think they try to achieve nirvana based on self-centeredness, right? So self-centered, therefore, not really say self-centeredness is wrong view. It's better to say insuperior view. And then another way to say self-centeredness is most of the cause of our daily suffering, or all, let's say, 99% our suffering in daily suffering is caused by self-centeredness, right? So, but it's depend on how much you use the self-centeredness, right? So you have self-centeredness, but you have a lack of understanding to how to gain peaceful. Then you are not really properly using that self-centeredness. Nothing benefit there, right? By you having self-centeredness, try to get peaceful, and then you are practicing meditation and so on to try to change or try to reduce those self-grasping and so on. That's you use for a little bit meaningful self-centeredness. That's also right. Same as like a technology, today's technology. If we use positive, it works well. If we use negative, and then it goes 100% wrong, right? So same as like a self-centeredness. So self-centeredness not really completely brings you ultimate happiness, but it could brings you up to the nirvana, right? So self-centeredness. Therefore, self-centeredness, we do habits, but most of the time we use selfish with it's misleaded or there are no benefit at all, because our self-centeredness goes with a strong ignorance. Then we don't know how to find the right path, right? To gain our own daily happiness. So therefore, that's one thing. And regarding Mahayana practice, regarding the bodhicitta practice, self-centeredness is 100% wrong, because the self-centeredness never ever leads you have cherish to other strong or 100% cherish to other, right? Not have bodhicitta. So therefore here pernicious pernicious view is self-centeredness. Okay, so now you know that self-centeredness, if you use properly, you will gain something, but if not really used properly, this is the most of the cause of suffering, right? So, and then just take example, or say most of us, our self-centeredness not used really properly, right? Look it back again, that self-compassion, right? Self-compassion. Self-compassion, I don't think that we use properly for gaining happiness on self. So therefore, I keep continue saying that self-centeredness practice is some kind of basis self-centeredness, the base as well as self-centeredness and attachment. Therefore, it's not really brings you exactly happiness. this again self-centeredness, right? Against means that's a way to bring happiness in daily life. It's not exactly bringing it, because the basis is self-centeredness and attachment, right? So, and then ego is also included ego. Do you see that self-compassion is included ego? I don't know. You can think it. What do you think?
I guess I just don't understand. If you could just say more, that would be great.
Okay, yeah. What do you think about it? Uh-huh.
I guess my question would be, I understand that self-centeredness and grasping would be not the root of happiness. But self-compassion, on the other hand, you know, like if we don't take care of ourselves, then, you know, how would we have the capacity to take care of others? So that's my question. I'm going to mute myself.
Okay. Definitely, we have to take care of ourselves. This is the first. Even Buddhists said, yeah, we have to take care of ourselves. Take care of ourselves for Buddhists is make you stronger, right? Make yourselves more stronger. Make yourselves more confident. That's take care of yourself. Take care of yourself means not that you do for yourself nothing related with anything else. That's not take care of yourself. For regarding Buddhists, right? For our usually knowing that take care of yourself is just do for yourself. It's nothing related to anything. The Buddhist saying, do for yourself in order to helping others. Right?
Okay.
It's automatically connected with the others. Take care of yourself in order to helping others. So that will be better, brings you happiness. This is the Buddhist idea, right? So therefore, we have a lot of misunderstanding about take care of ourselves. Therefore, we are more misleading our self-centeredness because we don't know how to take care of ourselves. It's not counted that you know how to cook it, you know how to cleanse the room, right? You know how to take medicine. If I'm sick, I have to go to hospital. I can see doctor. I can take that supplement and this supplement. I can have healthy food. That's one thing to take care of yourself. In order to gaining happiness, it really brings you happiness, right? So we are talking here how to gain happiness in daily life. And regarding that, how to take care of ourselves. And Buddhists say, yes, more cherish to others. That's taking care of yourself. Otherwise, there's no way to gain happiness.
The way of thinking of this be, you know, first recognizing your own suffering, okay? So there's that self-centeredness, and then focusing your practice on like common humanity, like other people have this suffering too, and thinking about them and wishing them and you, everybody with that type of suffering to be free from it, right? And then, you know, possibly just doing something kind for yourself and others.
So
antidote for that kind of thing.
That's we have to go through by that. That's how we need to do, right? Yeah. But here, my concerning is that today's the self-compassion, as I see is related with the strong self-centeredness and related with the attachment and some point of related with the ego, that not really perfect path that gain more peace yourself. All the point to talking about self-compassion means you should bring more peace in yourself. And then whatever bringing the path is very temporary. It's like a breathing meditation. The breathing meditation, when you change the subject, which will cause you annoying, you change those subject and then, like object, and then you focusing on breath, you're avoiding all those objects annoying to you. And then little while you will have a more peace and temporarily, very temporarily, right? It's nothing move anything about your anger. It's nothing move like a change anything about your desire and so on. Until it's nothing help you to change your desire and anger and so on. That's all temporary happiness. temporary peace, right? So, and then we just remaining with the temporary peace and temporary happiness, then we don't need to learn anything. Innately, we have a lot of idea there, innately, without learning. Even children, they have some idea to gain some temporary happiness to looking chocolate, right? Looking, hang around and play toys and every time video game. Their idea is finding temporary happiness while they're happy. Those chance, they're happy, right? Everyone has that. Every single being has that idea to get how temporary happiness. They do have it, right? But why we are not satisfying with it, then we need to do something else different. And then here, this is the one, right? Beside our normal idea, beside our innately comes like a human idea to how to get happiness, right? These are not enough. Therefore, what else there? And then that's how we need learning. And what else there? And totally saying here, your self-centeredness is wrong, right? Cherish more others, which is totally opposite than what we thought in daily life. This is really different path. That this is really different than what you think it. As we are thinking different, you have to enough encourage to do some kind of practice of this, right? If you're not enough encouraged to doing those practice, just remaining as usually how you thought it, just remaining as usually your idea, and again, just recollecting information, not at all, or better not collect information, right? So because nothing doing at all. Whatever, so this is a little bit different. Therefore, self-compassion is like a kind of like a really very temporary, brings you peaceful and happiness. Even it's not make you strong to help others. Okay, I'll go with them, Janet first and Chopal.
Sometimes when you were first asking about self-compassion, I was thinking that must include maybe patience with your own practice, your own effort, because sometimes you get very discouraged. So that's one of the things that maybe that's a method of self-compassion, is to be patient with your own effort.
That's good self-compassion, right? So we talk about self-compassion, right? But what I'm rejecting is generally people known here in a ways, self-compassion, practicing what self-compassion and their idea. I'm just a little bit talking about that, right? Otherwise, Buddhists talk also self-compassion. Buddhist talks also take care of yourself as the first priority in order to helping others, right? So while you're taking care, I'm repeating, while you're taking care of yourself, always connected with the others. I'm taking care of myself in order to helping others, always connected, right? But this self-compassion not really sees that. I don't know. I have a little bit very less education, therefore I cannot judge that much. But the essence, pure essence, I saw that then I can judge more. Oh yeah, then as well as it's connected with self-centeredness, desire, then not really brings you, because my logic is desire is not really brings you a complete happiness, right? That's the logic, yeah.
How would you relate what you're discussing now to renunciation?
Okay, the renunciation is the actual, yes, Buddhist self-compassion. The Buddhist self-compassion, if you ask what is Buddhist self-compassion, is renunciation. The renunciation is, as I many times said, it is renouncing that cause and condition which you know is lead suffering. Don't go back there. Usually say the one time lead suffering is okay. Second time repeating those suffering with the same cause and condition is stupid then, right? So it's foolish, we can say it.
Right.
So that kind of we must renounce it. If you renounce it, they will not repeat to you same suffering by same cause and condition. not repeat you. But many times we repeatedly having suffering with the same cause and conditions. I mean, better say similar cause and condition, right? Because we are not renounce those. As well as you renounce that act as cause and condition, collecting those cause and condition, you will not repeatedly have same suffering again. That's the better self-compassion. Because the point is, again, self-compassion is to bring more strength inside, bring more happy inside to yourself, right? No sad, no worry, and so on, so on. Be strong. That's the whole point. Should self-compassion work that way? Self-compassion should bring you more strong mind, overcome by sadness and worry, overcome by all this like a destructive emotion. Then it's really worked. And it could be related with Buddhist self-centeredness, right? I mean, like Buddhist self-compassion, which is renunciation.
So renunciation is not a simple decision of turning away from this life.
It's a, has a level, right? Every practice as beginning soft and go more deeper and high level and high level. So the ultimate goal of renunciation, or may say the high level renunciation, is giving up every pleasure in this life, because those are suffering, cause of suffering, saying, right? But we are not ready yet for do that. Right? So therefore, we can go step by step. Similarly, you do you remember Kurosan? Did I give example? The Kurosan,
Yeah.
you remember those, right?
Yes.
So that's one step. Then I no more have a chest burn now. I give up Kurosan, which is very delicious. That's renounce it. I renounce that one step. So step by step, which you can renounce it. Don't go back again. That's how we gain more free from suffering, because you are no go back to the cause of suffering. You are renounce, or you eliminating cause of suffering. Step by step going is counted as you're renouncing, but not counted you achieve renunciations, right? So it is counted you are practicing renunciation. Yes, you are begin to renunciations. To happy renunciation. You begin to having renunciation, right? That's how we need to go. Renunciation is not coming in one day. So step by step you will get it, then it's counted really day by day, which is really renounce it, right?
So I'm sorry, I don't need to monopolize, but why then does Tsongkhapa make a point of, as a beginner, you must achieve renunciation before you do many other things? It
talks about in order to having liberation, in order to have achieving enlightenment mind, then we must renounce the first, right? So the first means which is counted. The which first? The first of the path, right? Is not the first of the practice. First day of practice, not really go there, right? That once you achieve the first, in order three, within these three, right? Renunciation, bodhicitta, and emptiness, within these three, you need to first attain renunciation. It's not really saying everything beginning you have to renunciation, not saying that. So because look at the Lamrim, before you get the renunciation, we have a lot of make balance our life to think human leisure and opportunity, how valuable it. That's one thing. And making this balance, same time we're thinking death impermanence. Those are like a practicing again slowly and one step by, and then finally you get to the renunciation, right? And then more and more. So it's not really saying whatever you do only for renunciation. I mean, like you do for renunciation at the beginning, but not saying today you just give up everything, right? So saying, okay, you take refuge practice, you do think karma, or you meditate on human leisure and opportunity and death impermanent. Those are actually related with the having renunciation. And then not says renunciation yet, But is this the cause and condition that time by time and one by one we're collecting it, right? So up to it's this, which you meditating on humiliation opportunity, it can connect it with the enlightenment mind, so Buddhahood or Nirvana, it can connect it with that. So it means not that you are you doing right now the Nirvana practice? No, right? But yeah, I'm doing the humiliation opportunity in order to have those. So I'm doing like a meditating on humiliation opportunity to having renunciation, to having bodhicitta, to understanding or realizing emptiness. So on. That's how we need to go. Yeah. So the term will be like confuse us. When you say meditate on compassion, then you just thinking whole compassion here. Meditation on compassion means begin from equanimity mind. That's how we need to go, right? It's not really jump to the definition of compassion that you get it. Not that. Begin from equanimity mind, build it up, equanimity mind. So that's what we need to understand. All the practice. Chabal.
I was going to ask you to speak about this very topic. So
okay. So okay, now again, go back to the little bit about the self-compassion that, as I said, need to be really brings you those strong strength and happiness, right? So, and then as well as it's related with this, the like self-centeredness, which is like too strongly associated with the ignorance, then only brings you suffering. You never overcome by suffering, right? So in order knowing that, I have a few quotes from like Shantideva text, Bodhisattva way of life, and also the Pabonga text that say how self-centeredness brings us suffering. Shantideva says in his chapter 8, the verse 129, all happiness in the world is born of wishing other happiness. All suffering is the world born of wanting happiness for yourself. All suffering is born, right? Wanting happiness to yourself. And all happiness is born wishing one to have happiness for others. Okay, so continue saying the verse is 135. All of the violence in the world and all the fear and sufferings arise from the clinging to a self. What does that augury do for me? O-G-R-E? Ogre, yeah. So what does that ogre do for me? So, and then verse 156, O mind, you have spent countless an eon wanting to benefit yourself. But even with such great ordeal, you have only created suffering. You want me to read it again? Is good? Right? O mind, you have spent countless and eons wanting to benefit yourself, but even with such great ordeal, you have only created suffering. That's all we're doing it. That's the Shantideva said it. That self-centeredness, how much it brings you suffering. Like no matter, because whenever you think only yourself, then you completely forgetting my happiness is depend on many other cause and condition beside your effort, beside your part, right? Beside anything what you have it. That's clearly this. If we use logic, you understand that my happiness is depend on many other cause and condition beside what I have it. So therefore saying shouldn't think me and I always reduce those thoughts to keep thinking just myself. because it's not brings you happiness enough, but still you need to collect more cause and condition in order to having happiness to yourself. And not that it goes to bringing all happiness to others, right? Bringing happiness to yourself, and in very common, the word I can use, say, bring happiness to yourself, you should know how to deal with others. It's simple, right? So the only point, we don't know how to deal with others. As far as you think you are so important, then you are not out of humility, right? Once you're out of humility, then you don't, and you will not know how to deal with others, because you are the most important. Because you are need every good things you need it. Every person should respect you. Every person should say sorry to you, and every person should say thank you for you. But you don't have to say those. This is how we are, right? You don't have to say thank you for others. You don't have to say sorry for others, but you expecting everyone should say sorry to me and thank you to me. Very strong self-centered. Right? And how come I get happiness with this mind? That's exactly what Buddhist said it, right? How can I gain happiness with this mind? It's kind of almost not see that bringing happiness through by this thought and mind and path, right? So therefore, a Mahayana practitioner, 100% rejecting or try to eliminate it, self-centeredness, right? As I said, it's not 100% negative and wrong view, but Mahayana is 100% try to reject it. That's a different way to gain happiness. That's a different path to looking ultimate happiness, right? One then Theravadas are not completely rejecting self-centeredness, and that much brings their happiness, which is nirvana. And Mahayana sees more deeper, okay, even you have self-centeredness brings you nirvana, that's incomplete happiness. Still, you can have ignorance and so on and so on. Maybe better try to achieve enlightenment, Buddhahood, and in order to achieving Buddhahood, the most important is bodhicitta. And then in order to having bodhicitta, is a great obstacle is self-centeredness. So therefore, Mahayana practitioner completely try to reject self-centeredness. So therefore, even we are not the Mahayana, not the Theravada, just take that way, and then say in normal, ordinary people, not related with any religions, not related with anything at all, but still you can see how self-centeredness cause you suffering. That's all we can take it, right? We don't have to go bodhicitta, we don't have to go this and that. But yes, self-centeredness is the really bad things to that. It's really strong, causing me have suffering. So I should work on it. Then again, as saying, working with the self-centeredness, good to know that how to deal with others. Or in order to how to deal with others, you should know that the humility. You should have a humility, right? Because the ethics, morality is the fundamental for everything. The ethics, right? Moral ethics is fundamental for everything, either religious practice or non-religious practice. We see that moral ethics is fundamental for everything. And what is the root or best moral ethics is humility, right? I
have been exposed a lot, not here, but elsewhere, to the idea that always putting the needs of others ahead of my own can also create a great deal of dis-ease and suffering. So I wonder what you say about that.
Can you repeat again the always
putting others
always
ahead of myself?
Okay.
Can make me worse, sicker.
Yeah, until you have the strength mind, it will be a good seeker. Yes, you make me worse because we don't want to give up self-centeredness, but try to think cherish to other. It's not happening, right? Cherish to other is always first movement, the first step. You try to reduce your self-centeredness. And in order to reduce self-centeredness, you should know how it brings you suffering or benefit, right? So that's how we analyze it. Before we jump to any practice, it's a big saying, you always cherish the other. It's not saying you do today, right? Always cherish the other is the best path to bring happiness, as we said it. But how can do it? The first step is you should know what described here is the main cause. Self-centeredness is the main cause of suffering. Then you should more analyze on it. You should more learning it. Take your time for study on that just before you jumped. You know, and yes, you go, yeah.
I think maybe there's a difference between like self-absorption doesn't mean, but he's not saying neglect yourself. It's just a way of approaching, bringing some wisdom into when you're thinking you're doing something for somebody else, not to harm yourself in the process, right?
Yeah, of course, this is the way beginning. I'm saying we talk self-compassion, we talk self-strength, we talk self-carry, right? We need it. This is the first priority, as I said. Taking care of yourself is the first priority, but we must know how to take care of yourself. So far, we're taking care of ourselves, but how much you take care of yourself? That's I said it, right? And also not counted how to cook for you. All right, there's not really counted like how to take care of yourself in order here to gaining happiness. So in order to getting happiness, taking care of yourself is go more than this, more than our usually activities, right? So and then it's also related with your daily view. It goes wrong view or it goes with the right view. It's really analyze it also. So until it goes with the wrong view, then it's always created you the misled as well. Misled then brings you suffering, right? So therefore, we should really analyze it that way. And then again, I'm going back to here self-centeredness. Again, it's same, right? Let's say I'm Buddhist and as a monk, long since I'm 10 years. So am I ready for give up everything myself? No. Am I ready for cherish only other? No. Right? But do you cherish the other? Definitely. Right? Do you give up something? Yes. Kusan. Just kidding. It's more than kusan, right? More than, yes. Give up something? Yes. I'm not that much focusing on my reputation. That's how I speak my English well today. At the way beginning, more words and words and words, right? There, you know that. Still is broken, but much better others. You understand now today, right? So because I'm not looking on my reputation, I just speak it. It goes wrong, right? What problem then? It goes wrong, then, oh, I'm losing everything in my life. No, you gain it now here. You gain it. Because not look at the reputation. I just speak broken again and again, again and again. Still like a pronunciation, some word, what I said today. What's that?
Ogre.
Oh yeah, ogre, yeah. So I say ogre, right? It's ogre. Ogre. I say ogre. It's ogre. That's how I learn it. What problem with me? Right? Even my face is not really red to saying that. Not looking reputation. That's the one thing I can say, give up. Right? So that much I'm happy and confidence. And today people might say, oh yeah, they laugh or you say that like a ogre to ogre. Okay, you can say that. Right? But I know it's impermanent. They will say 1 day, 2 days, and they forget it. What should I so much take care that? They will forget that when I say wrong, right? So they're more focused on the present. Now, next time I say ogre, they will focus on that, right? No, not focus on what I said. Okay. So this is the things. We give up time by time and little bit. This is how we need to go Buddhist practice. Buddhist practice talks big goal, but always has that leading the path gently, not forcefully. Never talks about that forcefully to do it. But we have a way to forcefully to do it if you have a strong faith. Only they do who have a strong faith, forcefully to do it, right? So otherwise, they have always gentle way to do it. And when you step the first step, then you are not really giving up everything, but you try to give up everything because you give up one thing today, right? This is how we need to go. So even like same as like cherishing other, you don't have to go today class that we learn, or cherishing other is the best things. Cherishing other is brings you all happiness. And then your self-centeredness, the only cause your suffering. That's we learn it. And you finish the class, you go back home, then you're giving up everything. No, that's not ready yet, right? Not ready yet. You learn it. What is the main cause and condition brings you happiness? What is the main cause and root cause to brings you more suffering? Thus we learn it. And after we learn it, then go more deeper, analyze it. It takes time before you go practice, it takes time to analyze it. Once you get it, and also you should know what is the first step to getting there. Then you step on it. This is how you need to gain slowly. After 10 years, you will be changed then. Big change than today, right? This is how we practice. So not just seeking that or not expecting change in one day or overnight. Impossible. It's impossible that we know. Logically, psychologically, or any way, we know that changing those are overnight is impossible, right? So, and who should say you should have a compassion in overnight? No one says it because it's impossible. Who should say you should have only cherish to others overnight? No. So always try to, this idea we know now, and that idea to apply your practice to change your mind day by day, time by time, then you will have some kind of amount there can cherish more others. And one day you will completely cherish to others. You will do that, right? This is our belief that one day you can completely cherish to others. That belief, how come? Because little bit change in my day, I reduce my self-centeredness a little bit and see how's that worked. I see it's worked. It brings more happiness. It reduces my lessening my suffering. It's small amounts works. That's our belief. That's our hope to gain completely bodhicitta and completely cherish other. The small things brings you small things and big things brings you big things, right? In general, I'm not saying like every big thing brings you big things, right? So in general, that how that was how worked. Therefore, again, one thing repeating, always take time for analyze it, confirm it, make sure that you agree with it. So before we practice, we should have an agreement, right? We should have an agree with it. So therefore, agreeing is depend on how much you know, either the intellectually or experientially. So both, if you know, then you will agree. Once you agree, then it's your wisdom, not the book wisdom. Right now, you know from book and you're doing it, it's just still book telling you, not that you doing by yourself. Book telling you do this. That's the wrong way to do it, right? That's the usually we said. I think I exactly not remember the line. The Socrates say, I can bring you only that how to make you think. how to think, right? And you have to think and go on. And another way to say, we're pouring water on the flower. We cannot pulling the petals to grow, right? Let them grow their own. They let them like a blooming their own. But we can pour the water. So therefore, same way, we can give you how to think. And once you begin to think, then you can know. Once you never begin to think, you never know. You still rely on a book. Until you rely on a book, you are still foolish. Even you have a lot of information. You are foolish. You are stupid. Because rely on a book, right? We are rely on a book. So this, you don't have any wisdom then. You are not intelligent because you rely on a book. You rely on a person, right? But the person in books brings you some idea. And when you think, once you become agreement with it, with a good reason, then you are intelligent. Until then, not. Even you knows what book talks. Even you know the person talks. Even you know what Buddha talks. You are not intelligent. That knowing is just information. You are not intelligent. Because once you talk to other, you have to look at the book, what you say it. You cannot say from your experience. You cannot say from your own knowledge. You cannot say from your own reason, right? Because you disagree. You not agree with that book. So once you agree with the book, only makes you agree with the book is when you think it. Once you think, then you want to say something about that, what book said it, but information comes from book, but really you saying here, because reason you can give by yourself. Example you can give by yourself. Not really said exactly repeating what example in the book. Okay, if this is the example, this reason, this could be example for say that. It's your own way to saying it now. Right? Your own way to, when you say your own way to reason and example, everything, shortest or longest, whatever explanation comes from your own, that's intelligence, right? So otherwise not. So therefore, books only brings us idea, but not always rely on a book, right? We have to take off a screw. And what instruction said? Okay, now go back first. This and second this, and then you looking book and then screw talking out. Once you know how to take one screw, apply that idea to another. Okay, no need book now, right? So we're buying here a new bed and new desk, new table. It comes with the instruction. Almost we are not looking instruction. We're just guessing it. Oh, okay, this and that, this and that. And sometimes we start, then we go back to look at the instruction, right? So we try not. So this is use your own intelligence, right? This is all the point. Anyhow, so when I read it here, the self-centeredness of the fault of self-centeredness, right? And then Chappelle, could you read those line? Let me try it. Let me try it. Okay. Here, this book, this from Paponga Rinpoche's Liberation and Permanent Hands, right? So talks about a lot of fault about having self-centeredness. Okay, he said, the self-cherishing mind bear the ultimate, okay, reflection in many ways on the fault of cherishing own self. Now he's saying, the self-cherishing mind bear the ultimate responsibility for all the unfavorable things that happen to us. This include the harm done to us, other human, with a weapon or poison, for example, as well as that which is done to us by worldly gods, nagas. It's one kind of human being, nagas talking about, right? And other non-human beings. It's even responsible for us, our having to be reborn in the hell and hungry ghosts, or animal, and so on. Since those consequences are brought about my previous belief that killing or mistreating other sentient being. Now talking about the cause that how come, you know, we are killing other and so on, which is related with the self-centeredness. It's saying, where is it? About believe that killing or mistreating others and being stinginess and other similar behavior is a way of gaining happiness for ourselves. This point is made in a verse from the Guru weapon that stayed in parts. Okay, I skipped that part. This is one of the Shantideva's text. Okay. So here's saying now it's killed by a weapon, killed by poison. How come it is? It's saying self-centeredness, right? Self-centeredness. I can give one simple example. Today we're talking about racism, right? Racism. So my thoughts a little bit different. That we having racism is not only the color, it's not only the culture, it's not only the gender. The ISIS having racism because of behavior, action. That's how I see it. Let's say, whoever sees us, this is my how come I have this thought? Whoever sees us in the mangrove, everyone respecting it, no matter who they are. Wherever we go, mall and it's everywhere, they're respecting us. They think you must be a good person because of the wearing mangrove. And especially, another word is if we are Tibetan, the most believe that way, oh, you must be good, Tibetan, right? So because of, we're a different country then. We're a different culture than West, right? Different skin. And yeah, there are many things different than West, but still they like it because of behavior, because not skin and color. Do you think it? Let's say one of your neighbor who is immigrations comes from outside, very nice and gentle. You will have a dislike to that neighbor because of the immigration or different country, right? But your neighbor who born here, who raised up here and in Westerner, very mean and very rude. You like to stay with it? This is the logic then. That's all comes, my thought. Racism comes from that kind of things. And then many people think, or some of them thinking, oh, every the black person is bad. They think it, but not all. There are so many nice person there. But in TV and video, they shows they are robbing and killing each other. That's the they judge it in general. That's the wrong way to do it, right? They are judging for general, the wrong way to do it. So therefore, all that's connected with the self-centeredness here. Once your neighbor is good, no matter who they are, where they are from, as well as your neighbor is good, you are peaceful. You like to have them. You like to invite them. Isn't that you related with your self-centeredness? Because you are happy. Therefore, you're not judging that much. You like to have them. What do you think? You see the related with your self-centeredness? Yeah.
I'm hearing you and I'm thinking, I live in a neighborhood where we're very close, our houses. And my neighbors next door, they're older and they like to interact.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I'm somebody, I have a big garden, as you probably know, and I bring flowers. They come over and they talk to me when I'm trying to be quiet and do my thing. So I have to stop and I have to think of compassion and patience. It's like I'm constantly trying to cultivate that, put them before me. yeah, that's what that brings to mind to me. And it comes more and more easily over time.
Yeah,
It's
it's nice.
Practice it, it becomes like you said before, more like a habit. So I see them coming, I smile. You know, I get up. I say, would you like to sit?
Yeah.
You know, and I offer them something or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. On the other hand, say it never is so mean as I said. Never so mean and always like causing trouble. No matter who they are, even your relative. You might dislike to stay with them. You're too much annoying. You might dislike it. Isn't that self-centeredness?
Yeah.
Right? So all we like, we don't like, goes with the self-centeredness. Therefore, the causing fighting or causing staying with the peaceful is self-centeredness. Therefore, I say racism is not really skin and those things. Racism is very much depend on behavior and action. So let's say, now I'm hearing the Tibetan gangs having in New York, the youngs are. If we more hear that, then many people might don't like Tibetan. It's not that skin and what their country. Their behavior is annoying them. It's unpeaceful. It's not peaceful with just living with them. That's the whole point is having racism, I think. All depend on your action. What are your thoughts?
I think that what you're talking about is more on an individual basis. I think sometimes when people are talking about racism, they're talking about laws that have been in place to discriminate against an entire race of people. You know, that's different than the one-on-one like your neighbors.
No, all big things start from individual. All big things connect to the individual. Right? So you have to look at back all the source of having those minds to dislike each other. What is the really source? How began it? That's what, if you go back that, how began it? Even it's a big issue and big things here, what is the source?
You're saying the source.
Sorry?
You're saying the self-centeredness is the source.
Yeah, maybe the self-centeredness is source, but related to the source might be they have some trouble with it. They might have some problem with it. They are unhappy with it. Then it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Geshe? Can I speak to Janet's comment?
Yeah, sure.
So, Janet, I'm thinking that to connect with Geshe-la's point, it's like, yes, these laws are in place, right? But it was the self-centeredness of historically Southern whites to protect their own assets, to keep their own wealth. And so in a sense, it does roll back to their self-centeredness. So anyway.
But it wasn't the behavior of the people that they were victimizing. It was the behavior of the slave owners.
It's the wrong view of them.
Yeah.
Do you think that Putin's fighting to Ukraine, isn't that self-centeredness?
Yes.
Yes.
He began it for seeking something, right? The reason could be, oh yeah, before in historically we belong this. Still caution. In this land, who divided, who make boundary? We are, not gods.
Right.
Not God give us divided this and that. We are, right? And how come? Either fight, buy, whatever you do it. Right? So historically, that's question. But anyhow, this comes. And then he don't easily give up because self-centery, you make him like I'm losing my reputation. I'm losing my country's reputation. Self-centeredness.
Yeah.
Do you have a doubt that?
No.
Okay. So that's a big issue, things even related with the self-centeredness. In suicide, people in individual life, many people them suicide because of I'm not attractive. or because of I lost everything in my life, because of like I'm not really well learning, because of I'm not finding job. Look at this all reason to suiciding yourself, self-centeredness, that killing. And we use weapon each other. We killing each other, weapon using with self-centeredness, protecting myself. There's something bad to me. I heard that car hungs one time and people come out and kill it. Only the reason hungs makes you anger. Oh, they yell to me. Who they yelling me? Self-centeredness. Let them take out the gun and kill. Self-centeredness. Right? And the individual family practice, or like a fighting, small family, they are fighting each other. You check it, self-centeredness. The big fighting, like a country to country, self-centeredness. Killing each other, self-centeredness. So we can talk more about self-centeredness in next class. So we have 5 minutes. I can go with back with Laura's question. What do you have a question about attachment?
Okay, so last week we were talking about attachment,
Mm-hmm.
and you were asking us, did we agree or disagree with you
Mm-hmm.
about does attachment cause disturbance of the mind?
Mm-hmm.
And logically, it absolutely does. I
Mm-hmm.
analyze it. I say,
Mm-hmm.
yes, the less you are attached to people, places, and things, the less disturbed you will be.
Mm-hmm.
But my problem is putting that into practice. I don't know how to do that because while my mind understands it and it's logically, my heart says something else.
Mm-hmm.
So that I am attached to my children. You talked about a woman got up and walked out because you said that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how not to be attached. And not only that, I think there are different layers of attachment. So I don't know if I'm understanding attachment in the Buddhist sense of the word, because I don't know. I think for an ordinary being like myself, it's not realistic to think that you're not going to be attached and attached more to people in your family and your friends rather than just in general. So I don't even know where to begin with. How do you become non-attached?
Okay, begin with the compassion to your family.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I
Then
have
you
much
can
compassion for my family.
Uh,
Well, I shouldn't say my family. My children. Let me put that differently. My children. Okay. I cut off my arms for my children. I would do anything for them to see them happy.
Attachment.
Yes.
No compassion.
So not compassion.
No, it is attachment.
See, this is what I don't understand.
Yeah. So is there anything when they lost, or is there anything that you are separating from them? Painful, right? Last time I give you example between attachment and compassion, holding gentle, holding tightly.
Even when I'm
holding
gentle,
tightly,
I'm suffering.
right?
No. One son, I'm not holding tightly anymore. I still suffer, even though I'm not holding tightly.
What does mean not holding tightly?
I don't control. I don't wish, he better do this or he better do that. And I want him to be this way. And I want him to do it my way. And I want him to come and visit me.
Anything they're not listening to you, anything they're disagreeing with you, are you having anger?
No, not with the one. No. I give up. I gave up.
Okay.
I gave up. So no.
But that give up, okay, also we can analyze that give up point. So how you give up? Is give up because you do nothing, or you give up with more love to them? You give up those things because I love you. You give up those things because I'm out of control.
I don't know.
Yeah, if those you giving up out of control is still holding inside, you're not really giving up. But if you chance again, they're listening to you, you will do same things. If you give up because I'm causing them suffering, you give up with more love, then it goes forever. That's my logic. That's my thought. Yeah. So test it. Okay. You're giving up everything out of your control. or you're giving up with the love. That's is big different. It's too big different.
I have to think about that. Right now, maybe it's a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little bit of both.
Which is more and maximum and minimum you can think it that.
But sometimes also can attachment bring a good result as well? Isn't attachment, unless I'm understanding it wrong, also attached to connection?
Yeah,
or is that different? See, I'm not understanding.
Therefore, I'm saying, if you generate more compassion, then you can switch it. Until you generate compassion, then you give up attachment, then you become careless, which we don't want it, right? You want to continue to care them,
yes,
right? But care them with the more concerning about their suffering, not the more concerning about what you wanted and how they want, what they will become.
But that's what I am concerned about.
They're
suffering, and that's what I'm concerned about, that they're unhappy. And all I care about is that they're suffering. I don't care that I'm suffering.
But I can clearly say this is not the compassion, because you do not have the same empathy for other people who you don't know. Therefore, that will not count it compassion.
That's exactly what doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
How would I have compassion to people that I don't know as compared to people that I live with and see on a daily basis? And yes, I've become attached to them. Just living with them makes you attached to them. So how could you possibly have the same? I could feel, let me give you an example. A very good friend of mine at another group has a 5-year-old child that has just been diagnosed with cancer, 3rd stage. I feel terrible. It's my heart hurts for him. It hurts, but it would hurt more if it was my child, because I'm with my child. I nurture my child. I'm not nurturing that child. I see my child every day. So if there's going to be a loss here, okay, I'm not going to feel the loss of somebody I don't see all the time or somebody I don't live with. The loss is with people that are close to me that I see on a daily basis. Those are the people I'm really going to miss. Even though I feel bad for both, I'm still going to miss much more if there was the loss of somebody in my family than somebody else's.
So the Westerner compassion, yes, I can say it. You do have a Westerner compassion, but you do not have a Buddhist compassion. Okay.
Yes, I know that.
Yeah. Then, which is really compassion brings you happiness? That's we talk. We're talking that, right? The compassion result brings more encourage you to help others, or brings more happiness. That's what we commonly said. Compassion word. We are not defining, okay, Westerner compassion and Buddhist compassion. We're not defined that way. The compassion result, happiness. That talks it. It brings you happiness.
Geshe, I'm not even looking for happiness anymore.
You're not looking for happiness.
No.
What are you looking for?
Just peace.
You're only peace is part of happiness.
See, and that's why I'm saying sometimes words.
Yeah, it's a part of happiness.
Words that translate, I think different. I don't know if the words have the same meaning to me and you. I just want to say I guess I'm looking to be okay. I'm looking not to suffer.
Content.
Just contentment, just to be okay, not to be happiness. I relate with being excited and like getting a new car and you're all happy.
No, I'm not asking that.
That's
no. This is not our goal. This is not our goal.
Okay.
Yeah. Peaceful, as you said.
Peaceful,
yes, right? Peaceful is part of pleasure. There's happiness.
Okay.
Right? So that we're all seeking, no matter what, right? Peace, pleasure, calm.
Yes.
That all we're seeking. Because the opposite of peace, opposite of calm, annoying to you, opposite of calm makes you more suffering, which is don't like it. Right? But it's still remaining as same, whether like describe happiness differently, but I can take the peaceful. We're all seeking peaceful life, calmness, right?
Yes.
So it is this, while you helping you, when you look at your son, always bring you calmness or happiness?
No.
Then you don't have a compassion result. That means I said forget about Buddhist compassion. Even this is not compassion because you do not gain any result of compassion. Or you might say, oh, I don't agree that compassion result should be happy. Then again, this is new topic, then we can talk. Okay. Right?
Thank you.
Is there a role of like acceptance in this? Because I heard you saying with the one son, you're like okay with what he's doing, but do you accept him for how he is?
Yes.
And
It
you
took a lot of
accept
time,
him.
but yes, yes.
And you don't
Yes.
you don't need to change
No.
or nothing.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, as I said, incomplete knowing about compassion will fail to get M. At the very beginning, we talked that, right? So it looks like an incomplete because you not know what is natures are, and you not know what is kind of suffering there. Therefore, it's caused you like annoying again and again, takes your peace, not calmness, because you're not accepting it because you don't know what is nature. You still think, yeah, they can do something. Even I'm not controlling. Even I'm not saying them do something, but I wish. You wish there, right? They do something as your way. You're controlling insidely.
I wish you would be happy.
Yeah, that's all. And based on your perspective, based on your knowledge, it's not happening, right? That's for problem is you not know the nature, right? If you know the more nature of suffering, then you will not have a prospect exactly do away with my life and my idea. So again, in my idea, my way, self-centeredness. And again, of course, it's not compassion there. Not cherish the other. You cherish more yourself because of self-centeredness.
Oh,
Your wish to do no, because you want to do, let them do your wish, your way, what you think best.
But wanting them just to be happy, is that wrong?
It could be something that they know better cause to have happy than you are with. It's possible, right?
It's possible.
Yeah. So if it's possible, then see that way.
Does this fall under like a right view, wrong view as well? Like if you want.
It is related with the right view, wrong view, yes. Yeah. Yeah, it is related with it.
So if you want like happiness for all sentient beings, she could be happy for her children as well as being happy for somebody else's child as well, or compassionate for her children as well as compassionate for the guy's child.
Definitely, yeah. So usually one Indian guy said, when I hear the crying another baby, it's make me headache. When I hear my baby is crying, hurt, like I say, it hits my heart. Or because of what? Yeah. Right.
Your heartache.
Yeah, your heartache and heartache.
But Geshe, I just don't.
That's not equal.
It's not, but I just don't know how realistic it is to think that ordinary beings could separate their people they are very close to people that they don't know. I just find that
you don't have to go there. No, you don't have to go there. So far, what I can suggest to you, you can learn more deeper about compassion, because as I said, this is the best way to switch it, attachment, right? Deeper way to learn compassion, and try to apply it to your family. I'm not saying apply to others. Try to apply to your family, right? Once you're really compassionately doing with them, no more argue there, no more like suffering there. It's already peaceful there, right? So that's the problem. You're not doing compassionately with them.
But you just said something. If you're scared, something's going to happen to them. If you're scared something might happen to them, isn't that having compassion?
That could be. It's not always, right? It's really depend on how you are having empathy or sympathy. That kind of, and then, yeah, so that's one thing. It could be, right? And another way is you're too much stress and not calmness because you worry about it might have those. You are dealing with the imagination. Maybe not. Again, based on you thinking your knowledge, right? Your experience. It might be not happening with it. right? And why you have to 100% worry about that happening, right? But we have always concerning and take care, that's true. But don't have to go that much stressful. It's really happening, never know, right?
You said something, like two things that I think, he always said, my happiness depends on your happiness. I thought you said everything really well when you said that. But you also offered a method before of like when my heart was breaking because my stepfather died or when my brother died, you helped me to, have when I was doing prayers for them, but didn't just leave it at them, for all sentient beings. And that practice that he taught me just made my suffering so much less, because when it was only focused on that one loss, it was very painful. But when he taught me to think of others at the same time, it just made it more manageable.
Yeah, which is true, right? Which is true in reality. Yeah.
So you've taught a lot of skillful ways of like how we can be helpful to others and how we think we're being helpful, but we're not. And sometime in another class, we might have an opportunity.
Sure, yeah, definitely. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Geshe.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.